working on a template of the body on plexiglass?
Yep, I'm going to make I will eventually make 2 plexiglass templates. One for the basic shape, and the other one which can have other holes and things drilled into it. Line up the center points. Mahogany for the backs was cut down on the bandsaw and then planed to the same identical thicknesses and then joined together. I'm using hide glue for most of this build. This mahogany, I'm lucky enough to have a friend who was a boat sailor and a boat builder. And his father had purchased some mahogany from a boat company going out of business in the 70s. So it was already nice mahogany, boat quality mahogany then. And it's been stored indoors since then. So that's about 30 years, over 30 years that he's had it. And that's why I'm really lucky to be able to access some of this stuff, because you can't get it anymore. So I've got the appropriate thicknesses of materials here, and I'm just going to draw a line there and measure that to see where it's brought us. What I like to do if I'm converting lumber into finished wood is to often, before I do any final sanding or final shaping or anything like that, is to allow the wood to acclimatize, because every time you cut a piece of wood you can change the moisture content. So I just like it to sit for a couple of days to stabilize before I go on to the next step. If you're cutting material that has different densities, like it might have a soft area inside of it that's less dense, and the material will really run quicker through that, and then slow down again, hopefully before it gets to your fingers.
How much will you take off?
I'll have to make several passes. They recommend that you don't take off more than a 96 or something like that at one shot.
Okay.
It's hard on the machine, it's also bad on the wood. What we want is enough of the neck that where it gets bolted on to the body, we're going to have substantial surface area to allow for hardware and good gription.
Wear and tear.
Now, before I do anything else to that, I'll put another one over here. Up a little bit, not quite as far. But then I take these nippers and cut that part off. So now what I'm left with, a couple of sharp little pins.
Ah, yes.
Sticking up.
Brilliant.
This woman in California was on her blog of like this type of thing. So if I line that up there, all I need to do is give it a little squeeze. so that when I glue that,
Yep, it's not going to slip.
it's not going to slip.
You got your
It's
purchase.
not going to want to. Yep, that's right. Free with every purchase. Make sure the whole surface is coated with the glue. We don't want any dry spots. That's our excess. Add 2 more clamps here to our in-between spots here. Chambered bodies on solid body electric guitars was originally used as a weight reduction technique, depending on the density of the woods contributing to the overall weight of the guitar. An 1/8 inch away from the edge, and then I had to make a more substantial template. Okay, so that's most of it out on the first pass. There's a couple little spots there that will need to be cleaned up. And this is the completed back, which was 2 pieces of mahogany book matched. That still needs a little final sanding, but it has been glued to the mahogany slab that was routed out all the way through. The last time you were here, we glued up these neck blanks with the mahogany and the maple. I'd like to do a 15-degree angle on the headstock. What I'm going to have to do to get the full depth, I think, for a nice headstock, I might actually trim some of the wood from this section and attach it up here, and then I'll be able to cut a nice headstock angle and then have this patterning and graining following through. So I'm looking into, I'm thinking about using this type of threaded insert for the neck attachments, so that all you'll see on the back of the instrument will be 2 hex nuts. What'll happen is I'll determine the neck pocket dimensions, make a jig for that, experiment on some scrap wood.
What kind of wood is it again?
Nice. It's called Jatoba.
Jatoba, that's right.
It's like some people are it's supposed to be like a South American walnut. I don't know. I'm sure you could look it up on the internet. Jatoba. This is more of a little bit, not too much larger, but it has a larger button. That's like a red perloid mocha kind of look. I put those on a couple of instruments, and they're a nice looking peg. Well, over here we have, this is Dennis's solid body ukulele with the top laminate glued on. And tonight we're going to do some final shaping. I should knock the edges off so they don't affect the height of the cut. So what I want to do now is talk about the the inlays that we're going to use. This will be your fingerboard blank. Now, because this color of wood will be going on the mahogany, which is a little bit similar tonally, I'm thinking I want to use gold mother of pearl dots for these side inlays, because I've never really worked making my own inlays before. I've always used sort of the prefab ones. So I cut a piece and sanded some of it flat, and then I did a little experiment, a practice inlay.
Oh wow, look at you.
That's the circle pie.
Yeah, Gemini pie.
Gemini pie. That was a practice inlay. I practiced etching the surface with various things. Now this is
for the edge.
For the edge,
Yep.
the 1/4 inch round over, I think is going to be the way to go. You can sort of imagine that this edge.
Yeah.
Cover quite a bit. I'm just going to grab one. The preamp actually determined quite a bit the actual finish thickness of the instrument. So as you can see, we're going to have a little bit of a round over on the back, but we also don't want too much of a round over on the top, because then this edge would stick up and it would and then it would not look good. Okay, so this is my neck shaping jig. It's a cut 15-degree angle here. Works really well. I got into ukulele because I play guitar, and I also am a sailor, and I have a smallish 22-foot boat it's a cabin cruiser, but it's on the smaller side, so space is always a premium. And I took the guitar away on vacation, and I was constantly moving it around inside the cabin, so I decided to start playing the ukulele. Took a ukulele with me, and sort of fell in love with it. And then I thought I'd like to get a better ukulele, and I started looking at the prices of some of them, and was thinking, well, I already do woodworking, and I already know a lot about musical instruments, so I'm going to try and make one. So I made 3 in the hopes that one of them would turn out well, and they all turned out well. So I sold 2. I still have my original one. Yeah, then I started experimenting with different woods and that type of thing, and done some custom orders, like we're working on now. Shave, 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 chip, chip, chip. This is a hooked chisel. It was traditionally used for things like carving out the bum part of a wooden chair.
Yeah.
And for various other things, but I just want, and it's very, very sharp, so I just wanted to remove some of this. And the spoke shave, as fine as it is actually a little too large to get in there. So that is actually working quite well. I'll be able to sand that further. Another thing that I probably might have mentioned before, but sometimes I'll, once I get it where it's almost finished sanded, I'll just use some water and wet the wood a little bit, so that the fibers expand a little bit. It goes a little bit rough, and then you do final sanding before you start finishing. Now the other thing we can do is since the neck pockets should be pretty identical, we can take that neck, pop it on here, and see how you like that.
go.
So I don't know until I string them up which one is going to be the evil twin.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
you too.
Oh, it looks beautiful in that case.
It does.
Oh, wow, Denny.
He's excited.
Yeah.
Of course.
Try this baby out. Ta-da!
Okay, that's very.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then.
Oh, you're gonna take them to your studio?
Yeah.